The Never Ever Mets is back, y'all, and they not short on drama. They came off with a bang the first time, and this time they coming off with a doozy. If you don't know what they are a bunch of couples who, well, not a bunch, I'm just seven. Seven is a bunch, and seven couples came over here. They want to take their relationship offline and see if they have the same chemistry in person. Some of them have been together for a few months, and some of them have been together for a few years. A few years is too daggone long to be trying to see what's going to happen offline. But here we are, child. Who do we have first? Tatiana and Clavassier. Yeah, I won't be saying that too many times. Anyway, y'all, the love is in the air. Okay, so we're going to start with Tatiana. She's 31. She lives in Los Angeles. And Clavassier, he's 28 and he lives in Riverdale, Georgia. Listen, Clavassier, she called him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay. Every time I look at his name spelled the way it's supposed to be spelled, I want to call him Clavica or Clavacia. And he sounds like either a bone or a STD. So Clay, we're gonna call this man Clay Cavassier. She should have just, your mama should have just named you Cavassier. What is Cavassier? Anyway, do you know how we do? They met over here on Instagram. They were liking each other's, what do you call them? Thirst traps. They was liking each other's thirst traps. I don't know if it was a thirst trap. Probably they was posting cute pictures on the gram. And then he finally slid into her DMs, I'm supposing. Tatiana describes Clay as funny, charismatic, and she says he's easy to talk to. She's a student and a mom. I don't know how old her child is just from the looks of the picture that they posted. He's probably around 4 or so, maybe a little older. She's a student and a single mom, obviously. So I feel like this is how you get caught up in these type of long distance online relationships that I'm not sure are ever supposed to mean anything in your life except for having someone to talk to or get you through a stage in your life. So this young lady is in school. She needs to focus. She's a single mom. She can't be out here bringing any old body around her child. So she gets the, I don't know. I don't want to say privilege, but maybe it is. She gets this in this space where she can, get her ego stroked or whatever, have some cute guy tell her, how pretty she is and, not have to deal with it in real life on a day-to-day basis because when they all say relationship, because all of these people come in here talking about, I'm in a relationship with this person. If you've never met them, then you're not in a relationship. Relationships are how people navigate their way through life day to day. Y'all ain't navigating shit but some phone calls and some FaceTimes. I'm sorry, I got a little worked up, but just stop calling it a relationship. It's more like a situationship. They needed to redirect whatever they call it a situationship over here, which is really just a crossover. That's all that is. And call this a situationship because you got yourself in a situation where you're getting comfortable talking to this person who lives halfway across the country. They have a horseback riding date. I like to look at the energy of the people when they first meet. So they have a big hug. He automatically picks her up in his big old bear hug arms, taking a complete control away from her. I don't like to be picked up. The men in my family think it's funny to pick me up. I don't enjoy it. Don't pick me up. Unless, the bear hug thing, that was cute or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, getting me all, I'm not a cheerleader. I need to be sure-footed like the mountain goat. So I'm a Capricorn, and that's probably why that is. Anyway, it was a nice big hug. It was a hug of enjoying being in each other's space. They have a lot of smiling between the two of them. I feel like sometimes you smile when you're nervous, and of course you were nervous. How long have they been online talking to each other? 8 months. So they've been in it 8 months. That's a long time. It might be time to do something else. I feel like at 31, there's no super rush. She's a student and she should probably just focus on whatever it is she's going to school for. And since she got a free trip over here, to come meet this guy that she's been chit-chatting with. Let's see what happens. Probably not much, but we just getting here. And I'm just making, predictions of how things are probably going to go. And this is why I feel like it. The energy don't match. And this is what I mean by that. They have a cute horse riding date. After the date, they have a cute little picnic situation, and there's a nice view. He's feeding her fruit. They're having a little cocktail. There's a lot of smiling and stuff going on. But this guy, like she says, he's charismatic and easy to talk to. And I think he's just a smooth talker with a lot of lines. You look beautiful. I feel like I can wake up and look at that face every day. He's that I know you've been running through my mind all day type nigga. And I just kind of annoying. Because at this point, Clavassier, at this point in the game, after the horseback ride, you're supposed to sit here and have conversation and see what's really tea. See if y'all are really on the same wavelength. Don't keep calling her pretty. She knows she's pretty, and then come on. What else she got? So at some point, Clay decides I don't know, he was on his knees. It was a very awkward position. He was on his knees, kind of leaning into her, and he said, "Come here." And I'm like, "Come here where?" But not now. Not now, Clay. At this point in the game, this is not where we try to move in for a kiss. She didn't give you the go ahead. You didn't read the room. I told you, we're here to get to know each other better. She's like, "You can hold my hand." And he holds her hand for a second, but he doesn't want to hold her hand because why? Why do you need her to come to you, Clay? What was you going to do with that girl? Relax. She says she's scared to go over there. She just wants to chill. And, now things are awkward because, Mr. Make That Move made his move just a little bit too early. So I don't know if their energy match. Who else? You got Alicia and Irvin. Okay, so Alicia and Irvin have been dating for 5 months. She is 36. He's 44. So they're at, a mature adult age over here making decisions. She lives in Nazareth, Pennsylvania. He lives in Brockton, Massachusetts. That's 5 hours away. I mean, I feel like when you go into these online dating situations with people that are not in your same state, then somebody has to have at some point had a conversation about relocation. There's no doing this, online dating forever situation. So 5 hours away, that doesn't, change a whole lot in terms of it's not like LA to Riverdale, Georgia. You know what I mean? Anyway, they met on social media. Alicia says she has a zero tolerance policy. And I'm like, I don't know, Alicia, if that's the best way to move into a relationship for anyone. Because you're going to have to bring some tolerance to a relationship. A zero tolerance policy is almost like you've shot yourself in the foot already because somebody is going to mess up. That's not how relationships work. I don't know what she has zero tolerance for, but zero tolerance is definitely not the best way to move forward as a pair. She says she's finished being a girlfriend and she's positioning herself to be a wife. I would need further explanation. Positioning herself to be a wife means what? She don't seem like she was out in these streets. I'm not sure. I don't know enough of Alicia's story. Irvin is Haitian, so he's, embedded in his culture. And I think a lot of times, I feel like I might be stereotyping, but a lot of times men that are embedded into their culture are very serious about taking a wife. So if she's positioning herself to be a wife, I think this is the type of man that you would probably, want to. Women out here that want to get married need to be finding men that want wives, not, trying to change some street dude into, your husband. Their first date is dance lessons. I think this is a cool first date. At first, Alicia's very uncomfortable with the idea of being close like that, but eventually she lightened up a little bit. But I feel like I feel like the way she rejects physical touch so much seems like there's some type of issue. I don't know if it's a trauma or a disorder, but it's something that, and I mean, neither thing. A trauma is, either one of those things would have to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? In terms of having a patient, understanding partner to help you through, those uncomfortable moments. But and this time they seem to do a good job. She got comfortable dancing and things. They're a good looking couple. We like that. I can't explain why. It's just the way our brain is worked up. So yeah, we'll see like how they move forward based on the previews. Don't seem like they're gonna be moving forward too quickly, but like I said, it's gonna be difficult for Alicia to be anybody's wife when she's stepping into the situation with zero tolerance. Brittany and Tyler. Huh. Okay, so we have Brittany, who's 40. She's from Houston, and Tyler, 38. He's from Los Angeles. They've been dating 3 months, and I feel like at this big grown age, 3 months is long enough to decide whether you're going to move forward and meet this person or not. These two were introduced through his brother. So that's like an upper hand. Like you have like an inside, connection to this person. I don't know what type of relationship she has with his brother, whether he's a good friend who wouldn't set her up with, a dud, or he's just, trying to find somebody for his brother to smash. I don't know, but I do think it does help when you know somebody, then at least they got somebody to vouch for them, so to speak. That's a bonus. I'm sorry. Um, Brittany is a fashion publicist and she has a 3-year-old son. So she moving out here business. She's got her business, she's got her child, single mother vibes where, you got to handle this business. And I can see why I wish she hadn't said alpha male, but I can see why she might be looking for a good role model for, for her young son, not just for him, but for any other future children she might have. She's only 40, so Tyler doesn't have any kids. And, 40 is not too old to have another, especially since she's got a 3-year-old. So you might want to like hurry up and get one in, so your son will have a sibling. I didn't hear them say anything about children. They talked about marriage, but it was a joke. But I feel like with Tyler, everything is kind of a joke. He said he's looking for someone who's comfortable to share responsibilities. And I'm like, that's not alpha, girl. That's very much I'm the prize. They go on a parasailing day. It's very cute. When they meet each other, they hug, they give each other, a tight hug. And seemingly their time was very flirty and lots of smiles, and they were definitely feeling each other's energy. I just feel like Brittany is not playing, and Tyler plays a lot. So unless we gonna see another side of him, this one that he came over here with his half ankle socks on down to the parasailing place, and he has pictures posted of him very posed. I always wonder like about dudes, like you're not a model. So I always wonder about dudes that have these pictures that they post that are all very like, in different suits and things. Like, he coming through with the outfit. So we'll see. We'll see with Brittany and Tyler. I don't know if Tyler is, enough of an adult for her. If I was gonna have a prediction, I would say this ain't gonna last long. Who's next? Cinco and Jay. Okay, so Cinco is 30. He's from Atlanta. Jay is 30 also. She's from Maywood, Illinois. Don't know where that is in Illinois. They met on Instagram. She was all up in his stories, and he decided to go ahead and see what's good. And what's good is like, something because they've been here for 5 months. Jay has a 4-year-old son. So again, we got another single mom out here. I don't know, something about the energy between these two are actually like, and maybe it's the way they expressed it. Ty says something like he has to figure out how to step up and take on the responsibilities, of her child. And this guy Cinco is looking at things like, based on what he's seen, that she's a great mom, and if they move forward and have children together, then he doesn't have to worry about that. And I'm like, he's looking forward to like the future with this lady. I don't know what Tyler is over there doing, but besides playing. Um, they have a basketball day. It's very cute. She thinks she, got it, but he got it. He got it. She's 6 foot, so I could see why she was tall, looking for a tall man. She's looking for somebody that's nice and tall, you know what I'm saying? So she doesn't have to feel like the bigger person, you know, in the entanglement or whatever be happening over there. They give a little side hug to each other. They don't go into crazy, no picking her up and all of that. I think they're making each other nervous a little bit, but in a good way. Nobody's doing too much. They have a little back and forth basketball. They wagered a little, can I hit that basket, bet. He gets to win a kiss. He gets the basket. She kisses the man. And, they must have liked it because, then they look at the floor and do this shy thing that they're both doing in this moment. They have a cute little pizza break. She said, what did you think of me when you saw me? And he's like, I'm glad you weren't a catfish because people be out here doing too much filtering and things. They're a good looking couple together. And I think sometimes when people match, that's why. You know what I mean? You could be two good looking people and not necessarily a great couple. But these two match, their energy match, it seems like. It matched real good. She said she came over there in the girls' room, got these little bitty beds, and this man Cinco that she's been trying to get to for 5 months has a king size bed. So she's not sleeping in there with the girls. She gonna stretch out with her man over here in this king size bed. And I'm like, that's what you came for, to snuggle with him, not to make, y'all can hang out in the kitchen or whatever. They decided to, I'm not saying that they did what they did once those doors closed, but they damn sure ended up in that shower. Now, if that's not a hell of a first date, I don't know what is. Some people, like I said, the energy just matched. I personally like these two, and I really don't have a good reason why. I guess I'm just going to have to see a little bit more as to whether they're a real match or not. But for right now, yeah, I like them. Kiki and Brandon, on the other hand, I don't know. Kiki is 29. She's from Atlanta, Georgia, and Brandon is 30. He's from Birmingham, Alabama. That's really close for these two have not met over the course of 4 years. Um, Kiki said that's on her. She said they're both busy, but she says, however, she is insecure a little bit about being a big girl. So, she lives in those insecurities, and that kind of held her back from meeting him. She is a BBL model and should probably be careful of men trying to, when they have a fetish for plus size women. And then here comes Brandon over here with a photo shoot date, which I really hated because it's giving fetish to some extent. So she has a reason for feeling nervous, you know what I'm saying, and insecure about what might be happening over here. She should be feeling not so much insecure, but cautious. But everybody has their insecurities, and we're not going to sit here and act like people don't feel a way about plus size women. When they meet, they have a nice hug, and then they go straight to get naked, which was, I wish. She's not just a plus size girl doing a photo shoot with this dude. She's a plus size model. So this is how she makes money. And so she has no business over here letting this boy who, I don't know, takes pictures for fun. I don't know. We didn't see any type of portfolio from this man. And so I think she did it because he's cute. When she walked in there, she was like, oh, he's shorter than I thought, but the smile was smiling and the eyes was eyes and the cute body was bodying. Yeah, she thought he was fine. So she put, lingerie on for this man, which she should not have done. And after they take the pictures, they have a little sit down. He pours a glass of wine. Not even. He poured her a little splash of wine and poured himself a splash plus. His splash was definitely bigger than her splash. And she's like, go ahead and give me that bottle because I need to go ahead and top this thing off because I'm still nervous. And I'm like, she's meeting this guy for the first time who she thinks is really cute. And then you've got cameras and things all around, so I can understand her having nerves. Now, Brandon is talking about, are you a drinker? And she's like, I'm working on it. I don't know what that means, Kiki. I don't really like that answer. I'm working on it. But so far, Kiki is not giving tipsy. She's just, they haven't even started the wine yet. And he's trying to regulate, talking about, I gave you enough. No, you didn't. I don't know you. I would like for my glass to be full. Thank you. She said he was the Prosecco police and the Riesling Wrangler. I don't know what he was doing over there, but I didn't like it. She asked him if that was going to be a problem for him, and he said that they can work through it. And I'm like, we don't have anything to work through, Brandon. Kiki is just 29 and she's in Atlanta and she's still on turn up. Brandon is from Birmingham, Alabama, and I don't know what he does over there, but Birmingham, Alabama is not Atlanta. So I think over the course of 4 years, they've met each other and they should say goodbye. I don't like it. I don't like the way, he came in there. Kiki, you should not be required to change anything about yourself upon entering a friendship or relationship of any kind. Now, if you want to turn up, turn up. Why are we turning down? Turn down for what? Not for Brandon. Plus, they've been talking for 4 years and Kiki has a secret. And so what you not going to do is hold me on pause for 4 years only to be holding secrets. So Kiki can take her ass home. Alexis and Chris Chow. Okay, so Chris and Alexis. Alexis is 47, or she called herself 45, child. She's from Philly. And then Chris, we know Chris. Chris is from Ready to Love. He's 35, and we know he's from Dallas. So they're supposed to have been dating each other for a year. They met through a mutual friend. They met through a mutual friend, except for they've never actually met. Alex says she didn't really like him at first because she saw this picture of him with his tongue out, but then she asked for a dick pic and then things moved on from there. You didn't like a picture of him with his tongue out, but you're requesting dick pics. When you request a dick pic, what is exactly the message, the foundation of, how we gonna move forward? Just curious. She said Chris started dating a local girl. Now we think we know who that is. We suppose we know who that is. I feel like it's this girl.
Ooh, okay. No, you. Not you, Captain. You said you had some pull, the down south. I see you, brother.
Down south. That down south.
Shoo. What you telling me, bro?
Well, child, she said she was nice looking, but they're just opposite of each other. But she also says she doesn't usually lose. And I was like, lose what? Some conversations online with this guy? She says her first thought is that he'll be back. And I'm like, back to do what? Log on? Like, y'all have not actually met in person. Yes, he did meet a girl locally. And, it didn't work out. That's no big deal. I don't even feel like I needed you to add this. I don't know why we're talking about this girl. I don't know why we're bringing any of it up. I guess, people were going to question. He started dating somebody that was at home. And, it makes sense. But anyway, girl, you over here acting like you drew him back in with your magical, I don't know what, keyboard. They have a date at the beach. They give each other a nice hug. They sit down. It's real cute. He gives her a big, beautiful bouquet of roses. He pours the champagne. And before they can start any type of conversation, she's like, don't you owe me something? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't think I owe you anything. She wants a public apology. She wants a public apology about a relationship that we, the public, knew nothing about, girl. I don't know why we had to start there. And then he's like, okay, yeah, sorry for when I stopped calling you and stuff, and kind of eased off and start doing something else. She said she's good after that. She asked this man if she's his type, and he said he don't really usually, he goes on energy is what he goes on. That means no, you're not his type. And that's okay. Like, y'all don't seem like you match anyway. But he said he likes energy, and her energy is giving very low. She's very low energy. She's not this bubbly person with this, like, bright personality that draws you in. She's just giving kind of low energy. And he ain't exactly the most high energy person. He seems confused. She asked how was her energy. He said, you seem a little nervous or whatever, but your energy's okay. Okay, that's it. That's all. Chris, Alexis, we're not finna play with y'all. No, if there's a reason for y'all to be here, then I don't know what it is, but it ain't this. So, just when you think you've seen it all, here comes Charlie, who's 34, and Gerard, who's 32. Okay, Charlie and Jared are a lot to unpack. Charlie is 34. She lives in Dallas. Jared is 32. He lives in Columbia, South Carolina. They've been dating 4.5 years, child. Now, these two attended the same high school. She was a senior, he was a sophomore. And I'm like, so she played basketball, though. And so I feel like him being an underclassman probably would have known who she was. She's on the basketball team. Their story is so full of shit. They connected on Facebook. Now they had over 100 friends in common, and I'm like, you over the 4 years you haven't investigated both of y'all with all these people in common to see what's going on in their life. I feel like they could have had more information, especially the information she's sitting on, for God's sakes. She said she slid in his DMs. Of course she did. She needs to sit her ass down somewhere for real, and he should be very careful. Fear and scheduling kept them from meeting. Fear of what? The lies that y'all is over here telling. Don't show up over here on this dating show with all these lies and secrets. If I'm meeting you for the first time and you're bringing me a bunch of lies and secrets, and I'm skeptic of anybody that's been carrying on for 4.5 years. She said they talked every day for 4 years. So every day. Every day for 4 years, y'all had nothing else to do. When were you talking, Miss I Got a Secret, or 3 or 4? She said her intuition led her to basically go sleep with somebody else without any protection. And now she's pregnant. And now she is giving birth to a child that's 1 month old. So she has a 1 month old daughter. She did a whole video when she was 8 months pregnant. So even at 8 months pregnant, she knew she was going to come over here and, she showed up to the house looking busted with some house dress on and a grandfather sweater and some flip-flops on. That's how you show up to meet this person that you're referring to as the love of your life? I'm looking at you, Jared. I don't know why, because this is what they do. They have a pottery date. They give each other a big hug and a wet kiss, and she's shaking her booty. And you ever I'm sorry, Charlie, not really. You ever have like that trashy girl in the neighborhood that just slept with everybody, got a bunch of kids down there at the house on the corner, and she don't even bother putting shoes and things on. She always dragging her feet somewhere around. The kids be outside and the neighbors be like, hey, can you tell that lady at the corner her kids is wandered down here? That's what it's giving. Charlie says she's everything he looks for in a woman. I don't know what he's looking for. I'm guessing he's talking physically. Is he, because he, you know, Charlie. What is he okay? Clearly he's not. Charlie is over here pumping breast milk. She came in drinking champagne. Now she's over here at the pottery place drinking wine and pumping. Where's the baby at? I just cannot with someone who would leave their 1-month-old baby to come over here and shake her ass for Jared. For what reason? For what reason? Y'all haven't seen each other in 4.5 years. What's a few more months going? Or, geez, this is a fresh baby, straight out the vagine baby. She didn't turn around and had a beer at dinner. She is on her turnip. Forget that baby. And she has a type because based on the blurred out picture, the baby is brown. So this is what she be over here doing. Is she that one white girl in the neighborhood, like I said, on the house on the corner? So I guess at the end of the night, like we can only keep the secret so long when we're pumping milk in between, every few 15 minutes or so. Or else it's gonna be leaked all out over that dress. She tells him that not only does she have a 1-month-old daughter, she also has a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. So when they met, she had a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they were talking every single day, and she had nothing else to do with her time besides slide into his DMs. She wasn't too busy for that. And how, Charlie, did you manage to keep the kids from running into 1-year-old is like, I don't know, 1 month old a year later. Imagine that. So now they need, and they're more vocal and more everything. 1 month they not gonna do nothing but shit and sleep. She slid into the DMs. Girl, she is raggedy as hell. And she tells him the story, he barely reacts because he's got his own secret that he's holding on to. And I'm like, what could that be? What could be worse than, I guess we'll have to wait to find out. So these are the new couples for this season of Never Ever Mets. And they're coming with a lot of untold secrets and things, which, like I said before, I don't want it if you're gonna be bringing over here secrets at hi, nice to meet you. Is this a match made in heaven? I have no idea, y'all, but I guess we'll find out next week, like what couples are meshing since they finally met each other and which ones are absolutely not, y'all. Like the video, subscribe to my channel, and see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.